Hey guys, I am at, what is this, the Excel Group North America headquarters, or what are we, this is Raleigh ISIV headquarters?
Yeah, we're Excel North America, and our division is called Raleigh Electric.
Awesome, and I'm with the president of Raleigh Electric. This is Larry Peasy. Like, do you have any just general, like, here's how you, like, don't drop your battery. What do you do if you drop your battery?
Well, battery packs for e-bikes are definitely an area that we have been overly conservative as a company for a lot of years, and I'm happy to report that we've never had a major incident with the battery. We have had battery packs that have failed in the field and need to be replaced, but usually that's a good thing because we know our systems are working. Our safeguards are working that make the battery pack, blows a fuse in the battery pack.
Oh yeah.
It renders it useless until we replace that fuse and understand what has gone wrong with the pack. Sometimes, tips on what to do. You don't want to drop it.
Yeah, cool.
You don't want to store it in the trunk of your car on a hot summer day where temperatures get really high, because battery packs don't like high temperatures.
And this isn't just about fires. That degrades the cells, right? Like, it's not going to get as many charge cycles.
Yeah, it's gonna diminish the capacity. It could ruin the pack in a relatively short period of time. And you want to make sure that the battery pack is not left idle in storage after it's been put into use. So the battery management systems on all of the packs we use today, regardless of the system, have a sleep mode, and they're shipped to us in sleep mode. And there is almost a negligible draw on the battery pack when it's in sleep mode. So it can last for 5 years. But when you plug it in to charge it, the charger wakes it up and puts it out of deep sleep mode, which is what I was referring to.
Yeah.
And then the BMS is going to constantly put a draw on the battery, regardless, because it's managing the pack, it's managing the balance of the cell, make sure it's monitoring, temperature.
Can you ever put it back to sleep again?
You could. After it's idle for a period of time, it goes into what is called sleep mode, where it's drawing a little more than deep sleep, but it needs to be recharged at least once a year. We recommend, actually, that you be more attentive than recharging it once a year. That would mean you're not really using your e-bike.
Well, yeah.
So if you're using your e-bike, what we recommend doing is that you charge the battery pack when you get home. All the chargers that we use are smart chargers, which means when the battery pack reaches its appropriate voltage, that the charger cuts off and doesn't continue to
overcharge it. Yeah.
To push power into the pack over the maximum voltage.
So what I often tell people is, and correct me here, this is my own formula is, like, I check my batteries every few months if I haven't been using them. Sometimes I'll leave them at like 50 or 75% charged if I'm going to be gone for a long time, because I don't know, you don't want it at zero, but if I just filled it, it's like, well, I feel like that's stressing the cells. Am I just worrying? Is that true, or what?
Well, the problem comes into play when it discharges below its recommended cutoff voltage.
Okay.
Below its cutoff voltage, when you plug a charger into it, the charger doesn't even see that it's there, so it won't start to recharge.
Oh, because the BMS doesn't have any power to work? It's like you can't even charge it.
It's not that, it's more of a safety issue. It thinks that there's a problem, so it's not going to pump power into a cell that is below a certain voltage. So we want to keep them in their operating range, somewhere in their operating range. Doesn't need to be fully charged.
Okay.
But look, I can tell you that the best systems, Bosch and Shimano and Brosa and Transex, really you can leave them for a year without charging them, and then they'll come back after you recharge them. But you don't want to do that out of practice.
Sure.
Best case, if you want to maximize the battery life, you'll recharge it after every ride, and it'll be ready to go the next time you want to use it.
Okay. And again, if someone plugs it in overnight, Like, that would sort of freaked me out, but you're saying the chargers are smart and they won't overcharge it.
Yeah, it's not recommended that you leave it plugged into a charger
like unattended.
unattended for weeks and days at a time. However, they're safe, so that they do cut off. They don't try to keep pumping voltage, but just like a power supply on your computer, it's drawing power from your
phantom power draw, right? That little LED light.
Exactly. You really don't want to pay for power you're not really using for anything. So, don't leave it plugged in for days or weeks at a time. Let it charge, then unplug it. Unplug the power supply or the charger from the wall, and you're not consuming any power that you won't use.
Good to know. We talked about heat there for a second, but I'm originally from Colorado where it's really cold. Like, any advice on that? What does that do?
Yeah, these battery packs are better in cold than they are in heat.
Okay.
And they can withstand some pretty cold temperatures. But really, if you want to maximize the life, you would store your battery pack at room temperature, or reasonable room temperature.
Yeah.
You want to avoid the extremes if you can, but it likes cold a lot more than it likes heat.
For me, it's like maybe it likes the cold better. It's not going to damage it, but I just feel like I get so less range when it's freezing cold out.
Oh, that's for sure. That happens for sure. Actually, any variant in temperature is either going to increase or decrease the range that you get out of a battery pack.
Okay. So
yes, those extremes affect the way the power comes out of the pack. It may not have an impact on the life, but when you're riding and it's sub-freezing temperatures, you're probably going to experience diminished range.
Okay. Rock on. High five, buddy. Boop. We'll catch you later.
Thanks.